Hey everyone, welcome to Marketing for Designers podcast. I'm your host, Masha Coyne, a messaging strategist and a copywriter for the interior design industry. I've been marketing for what feels like forever in my past career at some of the biggest global firms like KPMG and Deloitte. Today, I write website copy for designers using my signature voice of customer framework. If you're a designer looking to up your marketing game and attract premium clients, this podcast is for you. Each week on the show, we're going to be talking all things marketing, from branding to messaging to social media, SEO, and so much more, so you can have all the tools you need to grow your business and attract your dream clients. Welcome back to Marketing for Designers podcast, where we talk about all things marketing for the interior design industry. So today we're talking about creating original content. And I know content creation is something that a lot of us struggle with. It takes time. It requires investment, and more importantly, it requires ideas, fresh ideas. What do we post? How do we make sure it speaks to the right audience? How do we create something that not only captures attention, but also brings us new business and builds authority? So that's the topic we're tackling today. And to talk about it, I'd like to introduce you to my guest, Aaron Witnish. Aaron is the co-founder of Content Only, specializing in the 30 days in 90 minutes content creation system. Aaron will be sharing his 3-step system to create 30 days of original, on-brand video and written content in just 90 minutes a month. This system promises to eliminate all the headache and time it takes to create authentic daily content for social media and build a brand. Aaron has been marketing online since 2008, built 2 marketing agencies, and has a combined 15,000 plus personal followers across LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Aaron has also been featured on Grant Cardone, hopefully I'm pronouncing it right, TV, and hosts his own podcast, producing 60 plus episodes so far. So welcome to the show, Aaron.
I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Of course, my pleasure. Well, this is a hot topic, and I am a sucker for all things framework and process and 3-step systems, because it just makes our life easier. So I'm so happy that you're here today to talk about it. But before we get into it, so you've built 2 marketing agencies and you've got quite a significant following across these different platforms. What have been some of the key strategies that you've employed to grow your personal brand?
Interestingly enough, it actually just comes down to longevity and consistency, and content would be the foundation. When I started out, I didn't have any credibility, any social proof, just like anyone when they go into business. So I figured the best way to achieve that was to post content that showed people how to do things. So that way they couldn't really question if I knew what I was doing, because I was showing I knew what I was doing. And that is how I grew the businesses initially, as a young man in his 20s talking to established business owners. So that's why I've become obsessed with content over the years.
Do you remember what you started with? Like, what kind of content did you start publishing?
How-to posts and how-to videos. So I'd write these long, you call them almost article style written posts before all the tech and AI made it really easy to have to sit there and tap away at the keyboard. And I would unpack exactly how to get from A to B with a particular strategy to do with marketing. Same with videos on a very poor laptop where the screen was delayed with the speed of my mouth and the fan would start going as soon as the video started recording. And I'd just say, hey, here's how you set up a Google ad. Here's how you do this. And that's where I started.
No, that's cool. So then you've been doing that. That's how you started growing. And then slowly but surely you developed this, your own system. I would love to talk. I would love for you to actually talk about your own system and how you help others do the same and produce content.
We found that when we started doing content as an agency, it was like pulling teeth, because business owners really didn't want to do it. So they would never get media assets to us. And we'd spend more time chasing them up than actually creating the content to get what we need. And one day, one of my clients, funnily enough, is a bricklayer of all skills and professions, said, I want to do some video. And I was sitting there going, how's this going to work, getting a bricklayer to shoot these videos? And I said, let's just try something. And we're on Zoom, like you and I are right now. And I said, I'm just going to start asking you questions. And so I said, hey, how'd your company get started? What do you do differently to other contractors? Tell me about the team, the culture. How are you more efficient on site? And just rattled off these beautiful responses like we were at a pub or we were at a cafe having a coffee and we were recording it. And then I sent it to my editing team. I said, can you just cut clips and see what we can use for video on social media? And I got this folder back with 12 clips and we'd spoken for 20 minutes. And we put the branding of the company on the videos. And I was like, I think we've got the solution. And in that conversation kind of changed the whole approach we took to content creation for businesses.
You make it sound way too easy. Like you literally just hop on Zoom, talk, and tell me, how did you come up with questions? Was that something that you had to figure out based on what his audience or what you knew about his audience?
I'll put it in context for interior designers because that's your audience,
Yes.
And this will be really helpful for them. So getting questions, getting content ideas is where a lot of people fall down. What do I post? What do I talk about? The good news is if you just go to Google and you type in a search, so it could be interior design tips. If you scroll down a little bit, there's a people also ask section, and it's going to have questions that people are asking about interior design. So this is exactly what people want to know. And if you click the little down icon, it'll give you more questions. You click the down icon again, more questions. Then you can just take another search that your target clients might look up online, put it into Google, do it again. And that's how you can answer questions that your target customers are actively asking online and get content ideas without even thinking about it.
I like that. So I'm assuming we're already kind of diving into your system. So maybe walk us through your system. What are the steps? How does it work? What do interior designers need to consider in order to implement that in their own business?
You're right. So that's step one. We call that research. And there's two tools that we use to do this process when we're working with a business. The first one I just mentioned, and we'll go through 5 or 6 different searches that their target clients, outcomes they might be seeking, information they might be seeking, and we'll just save all the questions to spreadsheets. The second tool we use is called vidIQ. This is steroids for content ideas. So we take the same searches, we put them into the vidIQ tool, and you'll get 300-ish questions for the searches that you're looking at, but it also has the search volume, the competition, so you can actually sort it by the lowest competition content ideas with the most searches and target low-hanging fruit opportunities. So that's where we get a list of all these content ideas to target. Then what we do is we move a couple of questions from each category into a sheet. And then we put some personalized questions in. Tell me about the brand story. Tell me about a client success story. How did you solve a problem for a client? So then we've got some questions that bring out the personality of the business owner, talk about problems they've solved so there's good social proof. And then we've got the authority content, answering questions for the target audience. So we'll have 12 questions a month that we give to the client. So they've got a chance just to have a quick look if there's any questions they want to prepare anything for. Then step number 2 in the process is what we're doing right now, which is record. We found that when you have a relaxed conversational approach to content, people are really authentic. They forget that they're recording after about 5 minutes. The first 5 minutes is always a little bit, I'm being recorded, I'm doing content. And then they relax into the process. And they get this authentic style that they don't get when they're staring down a camera with a script, doing take after take after take. So we feed them the question, hit mute. They're on their iPhone, by the way, in portrait mode. So we aim to get reels, we aim to get shorts to cater to the short form content. And they just answer the question. It doesn't matter if they mess up. It doesn't matter if they lose track, collect their thoughts, want to answer the question again, because we solved that in step number 3. So we'll just go through the 12 questions. It usually takes 30 to 60 minutes. Their part's done. So that's all the business owner, the interior designer has to do for the month. Then, depending on where they're at in the business journey, there are some AI tools that can cut this conversation. So there's Opus Clip, there's GetMunch, to name a couple. And if you're on a budget and you don't have capital and you don't have money to hire or invest in a team, you can start there. The only challenge is you won't necessarily get the clips that you want for those questions, but you will get a lot of clips and you can customize the branding, go make changes. So there's a little bit of self editing and fixing up with those tools. But if you don't have a budget, that can get you into content creation. If you do have some budget, what you do is you go to a freelancing site like Upwork, or you come to an agency like us, and we cut the clips and the responses to the questions that you're after, edit it down, and then add branded captions to the videos, because over 80% of videos get played without sound on. So we need the captions there. And then we know we've got the content that's optimized for what the target clients are asking and searching for online. So that's the video side handled. Then we take that same interview to a tool called rev.com that transcribes the whole conversation into text. And then you can take that original conversation that's come out of your mouth as the expert. If you're bootstrapping, you can go to ChatGPT and prompt engineer it to rewrite that transcription into posts for your social media. Again, if you've got a little bit of budget, you can get a content writer on a freelancing site like Upwork to then write the posts, rewrite them, targeting the questions that you answered in the interview. So that's essentially how you get your 30 days of content in 90 minutes.
That's pretty cool. So, but before you hop on the call with a business owner, with an interior designer, let's say, are you putting together some type of strategy? Like, are you hoping that they answer questions in a certain way? Like, I guess what I'm asking is, do you have an idea of what you want the output to be like?
Definitely. I'm really big on local businesses. They have a unique opportunity, and we were talking about this before we hit record. You can create content that caters specifically to the locations that you service, and all you need to do is put the location in the title, because then you're going to show up in local searches and put a local hashtag in the post. And the advantage is you're not going to get as much reach by localizing, but you're going to get in front of people that can be clients and customers. And there's that trust factor. People see the location in the headline, they hear you say it in the video, they go, oh, we're in the same location. We have familiarity. There's these similarities. I trust you. So that's one of the key ingredients that we'll look at with someone like an interior designer, so they can get in front of the right people. Not everyone in the world, most of them that can't be paying customers. So it's little nuances like that. And then we'll reverse engineer which platform are your target customers on? What time are they on the platform? So we're making sure the content gets scheduled to go out when they're on the platform. And then the other advantage that a local business has is boosting. You can just boost it to that city, to that zip code. I think you call it in the US, we call it a postcode here in Australia. So on a very small budget, you can ensure and guarantee that your videos, your posts are getting in front of the right age demographic, the right genders, if you focus on either women or men, and really get your content to work for your business.
Mm-hmm. What takes the most time? Is it, well, if we're talking about only like 40 to 60 minutes of recording, is it the editing part that kind of takes majority of time, I guess?
That's why people hire content only our agency, because we've got the team there that knows exactly what content we're looking for. Then you've got to cut the clips. You've got to then add the captions and make sure they're accurate. And then you've naturally got to get them uploaded and ready to the client. So that is the time heavy part, and why you do not want to be doing it as a business owner, because you need to be focusing on what moves the needle in your business. The last thing you want to be doing is tasks that you can outsource and get someone else doing for you, when you can be working on client retention, bringing in new business, being out there and promoting and growing the company.
Why video content? Why you showing up on video seems to be one of the most effective types of marketing collateral?
There's a few reasons for it. Number one is, since TikTok came along, the platforms really prize those short form clips. So we're catering to the way the algorithms and the platforms want the content. So we're giving it to them. And that's going to get the most traction and reach, generally speaking, for a business owner. Number two, a video where someone can see your face, hear your voice, hits all these other senses. When you post a photo, anyone can do that. Anyone can get a photo from anywhere. You on camera is real, and your competitors can't mimic that. It's you. So you build a personal connection. And in this day and age, that's where they do business with human beings. And that's where they get the trust transference, and it instantly attracts and repels. People either like you or they don't like you, which is great, because the people that come towards you genuinely want to work with you. The ones that go away weren't attracted to you, so they wouldn't have been great clients anyway. So video achieves so much more than just posting photos and visuals.
Do you have any tips to, like, I can imagine it's not everybody likes to show up on video. Like, I know it took me a while to, like, I'm not even sure if I still like it, but I know it's part of the thing that I got to do. Do you have any tips how to overcome that fear of being recorded and speaking on camera and showing up on camera and kind of feeling like you're comfortable and not nervous at all? Any tips?
It's first of all accepting that you're never going to like your own videos. Very few people do. I cringe. I watch myself. I don't like it. I think most people are the same. Everyone's a little bit nervous, a little bit edgy going on camera. The more you do it, it's like going to the gym. The first time that you work out, it sucks. You're not very good at it. Your whole body hurts and you want to quit. Video's the same. The next time you do it, you lift a little bit more or you run a little bit further, and you go, oh, okay, I made a little bit of progress. So just like anything, it's accepting that in the beginning, it might not be great, but part of the evolution is getting better, getting more comfortable. And over time, you'll build this muscle and resilience to getting on camera. Again, if you want to build a business, it's doing what other people are not prepared to do is what's going to make you successful. When most people are too afraid to put themselves out there, when you're the one that steps up and do it, you've got a massive advantage over the other people in your market space that are competing against you.
I like that. Is there anything else that we need to consider when we're trying to find new ideas or content topics that will actually resonate with the right audience? I like, research is a great thing, and you've given us some tips in terms of, what to Google and then where to look for what else people are searching for. What else can we do to kind of have this competitive advantage of our competition and figure out, well, what else do my clients really want to know?
Ask your clients, go, what questions did you have when you were going down this path to do your interior design? What did you want to know? Because you can get inside their heads directly and they might say, oh, this is a concern for me, or I really wanted to know this. That's really powerful knowledge. So you've got a client base. You can even ask your audience on social media, hey, what do you want to know about interior design? What are your concerns? What do you want to see? And ask the people and get that information back, because that's hands-on data and content ideas that it's probably even better than what Google gives you or vidIQ gives you.
Yeah, because it's targeting the exact people that you want to market to. And actually, that's one of the services that I offer. Only I've never thought about it from the perspective of creating content based on those insights, because as part of my website copywriting service, I interview clients to get those audience insights, to understand, their pain points, their desires, how are they motivated, what motivates their decision making. But I use those audience insights in website copy. But it's interesting that, you're making me think, well, there's so many other ways that I can be using these audience insights and actually create content that resonates.
It is the key, because the more the content resonates, the right people tune in. And when the right people tune in, that's where it impacts the business. We can create entertainment content that could reach hundreds of thousands of people, and we get an endorphin hit because we get the views, we get the likes, but it won't move the needle in your business if it's reaching the wrong people. You're much better off getting in front of 10 people that have an urgent desire to get interior design work done than 100,000 kids in the rumpus room of their parents' house that love the dance that you're doing on social media.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned entertainment type of content. There is this notion that your content has to be in specific pillars, right? Like educational, informational, entertainment. Do you stick to, or do you believe in having those pillars? Like, for example, when you're hopping on a call with a client on Zoom call, in order to slice and dice the video afterwards, are you sticking to specific pillars? Are you making sure that the questions that you ask and the answers that the service provider then records are aligned with specific pillars?
Not specifically. We just want them to be really authentic. We know that attracting the right people is about them being themselves. If they're not an entertainer or they're not naturally funny, we don't want them to try and be funny. Some will just naturally entertain because that's their style. They're very relaxed, very confident. They think on their feet. So we're very big on just be you. and we'll get the best content for your target audience. So that's the way that we approach it.
That's smart. So walk me through your system again, starting from research, just so we kind of like, if you could summarize it for the audience.
Yeah. So research, go to the Google section, type in searches your target customers might look up, go to the people also ask section, and there's your content ideas. Put it on steroids, go to a tool called vidIQ, do the exact same thing. You get hundreds of content ideas that you can sort from lowest competition to highest competition. With recording, get your list of questions, someone that you have incredible rapport with and you feel confident like you're having a FaceTime conversation with them. Get them to ask you the questions. We do it on Google Meet because it saves the recording straight to Google Drive. Answer the questions, have fun, relax, have a coffee while you're doing it, and get the recording done. Once the recording's in Google Drive, you can, if you're on budget, use the AI tools to get started, like GetMunch, Opus Clip, which will cut clips for you. You might not cut the clips that you want, but you can do a little bit with that to get some content going. If you can afford to get an editor or someone like Content Only, go to a site like Upwork, find freelancers that can do this for you. So they cut all the clips exactly what you want, get it on brand and send it back to you. Rev.com to repurpose the text into so you can get it ready for your written post. And then again, if you're bootstrapping, ChatGPT, prompt engineer it to rewrite the post, or get a freelancer or someone that can rewrite the posts exactly how you want them, with the hashtags, with the hooks, ready for social media.
Oh, I love it. It sounds easy. Honestly, I'm willing to try that. That's pretty cool. And then you get like a ton of ideas to post about. That's awesome. So Aaron, I wonder for designers specifically, what types of content you found to be the most effective to actually drive engagement? Is it those clips that actually where the service provider really shows up kind of authentic, just answering questions?
It'd be a hybrid because with interior design, people do need to see the work. So you've got that's why you do the written post side as well, because then you can put your visuals in, some of your amazing creative things that you've done for clients and transformations before and afters. And then the camera side, the clips, that'll build the personality where, hey, I want to work with this designer. This is my person. And then I can see their portfolio. I can see what they're doing. So because it is a visual service, you do a hybrid, make sure your work is there, but also you're there educating, adding value, introducing the brand and building that personal connection with the audience.
That makes sense. And I appreciate you saying that because it's true. It does require visual. So I feel like it's people need to see your work. That's one thing. But then people, when you see those kind of clips, that kind of content, they feel like they're getting to know you, the person serving, the person behind the brand.
Yeah, we call it legitimacy content. So you do need to showcase what you do so people trust that you can solve their problem and deliver on the outcome. That's really, really big. And it's really easy when you're in a visual space like design because you can put up the work that you do and people can see it. You don't have to overly explain it. So I think interior designers have an advantage if they're willing to do that alongside the videos.
Mm-hmm. Is there a ratio that you stick to? For example, I don't know, like 70% visual content, and that has to do specifically with your service. And then, I don't know, 30% of that kind of brand boosting or humanizing content.
There's no specific ratio that we recommend. But what I would say for someone in interior design is go a visual post, video, visual post, video. That'll look really good on your grid, on your portfolio, and give a nice balance. So that's how I'd approach it in that industry specifically.
Okay. Aaron, tell me more about your company. How, let's say designers all in, they love the idea. How can you help designers do this or simplify this if they don't want to do this themselves?
Well, we do it for them. So we do all the content ideas, we interview them, we cut all the clips, we write all the posts, we create their content plan so they can reach their target customers. So if they wanted that set and forget scenario where they can just focus on their business, then they can come do that. We give the system away for free, by the way. So if someone goes to contentonly.au, we've got a tutorial that actually walks through step by step how we do it behind the scenes so they can actually get a peek under the hood of how we bring it all together. So that's available. Someone kind of wants to see how it all works.
That's interesting. And I guess that may be the question that people are wondering, but how do you make sure that you get new ideas every single month after month? Like, I feel like I don't know, maybe it's not true that you haven't exhausted all the things in the first couple of months. How do you make sure you get new things to talk about?
You'll be surprised when you look at a tool like vidIQ because you do get 300-ish results for each of the categories. And those results will refresh if you go back a month later. So if you go and do 3 searches on vidIQ, you'll have almost 1,000 ideas in a lot of cases. Very hard to exhaust them. So these tools make it easy not to overdo the same thing too much.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I love it. Love it. Love it. Thank you so much for bringing us your system and for making it available online. I'll make sure that it's linked in the show notes. Aaron, I do want to ask you one question before I let you go. Is there a practice or a habit that you've implemented in your life or in your business that has been game changing?
5 years ago, I started running, and I've been consistently running every single week, a minimum of 3 times with maybe 2 weeks exception over that 5 years. What that habit has done, it's been a foundation for creating new habits, because anytime I want to get better at a skill or anything in the business, I just reference it back to running. Look where you started at 5 years ago. You stuck with it, you followed through, and now you don't even think about running. You don't enjoy it. You don't think about it. You don't not enjoy it. You just do it. And that's always my reminder when I want to follow through with something in my business. Just look at that reference point of how you've approached running and now apply it to this new action or habit that you want to build.
Oh, I love that. Do you love running?
I do love it because what I do now is I don't have headphones. It's like my meditation. So I get all my ideas, the downloads, and I run usually by streams and out around trees. So it's out in nature. And for me, it's where I'm the most present. It's become my way to zen out, which is funny because running's a physical exertion. But when you get to a level of fitness, it does feel really good. You get that endorphin rush, and I run at a very comfortable pace that feels great. So it's been a really good outlet for getting business ideas and for focusing that I didn't get beforehand when I was putting headphones in and listening to everyone else's ideas.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. And thank you for being an incredible guest on the show. Where can people find you if they want to connect with you?
Best thing to do is go to contentonly.au and download the system. You can chat to me live on the site and ask me questions. But if you did want to follow on social media, Aaron Witnish, I'm easy to find. There's not too many Aaron Witnishes out there. Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, I'm on all of those. Shoot me a message, say hi, and ask any questions you want.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Aaron.
Been a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Marketing for Designers. This is Masha Cohen signing off. See you next week.